The Arrival of Universal Love, posted by Lauren on Saturday, December 3, 2011. As the new human prototypes fully activate and physically embody the frequencies of universal love, Mother Earth receives the nourishing scalar energies needed to ease her labor pains, as do each of you. Seven Sisters of Pleiades, post 1111. It's been 3 weeks since the 1111 when, yet again, our inner world turned inside out and our outer world turned upside down. It always takes a good chunk of time after a major portal to get our wigs on straight, but there is so much going on in the cosmos during this very concentrated and sacred passage into a new year-era world, that it's difficult to impossible to wrap our brains around it or to figure out which end is up just yet. One thing is certain: we are still frolicking in the post-1111 void, and soon to be vacuumed up into the 1212, enduring the usual excavation period that follows any major cosmic event, and integrating the motherlode of all gateways that we just exploded through. And even though we are currently gaining access to an entirely new realm of heart, intelligence, and coming into contact with some new level awarenesses, this is certainly no time for making sense out of it all. Compliments of Mercury retrograde. We are still so thick in the haze of transmutation that we can't really see a foot in front of our faces, and with all the shards of lingering 3D shrapnel still flying through the air, it's not even advisable to try. Also worth mentioning that we are in the midst of a powerful eclipse portal. There was a partial solar eclipse on November 25 and another total lunar eclipse approaching on the full moon of 12/10. And of course, right on the heels of the upcoming lunar eclipse is the 1212 Stargate, which will be soon followed by the solstice. Throw in a few solar flares and CMEs that are bound to grace us this month, as they did so unapologetically right around Thanksgiving, and we have quite a cosmic cocktail to nurse through our holiday parties. So yes, even though the pains aren't quite as intense as they used to be, and we are able to ride the waves with more confidence, we are still heaving through the labor of rebirth and need to surrender ourselves fully through these remaining contractions of 2011. From the solstice to the new moon, you have the opportunity to glean a whole new perspective, one that incurs real change, breakthroughs and freedom. Seven Sisters, from what I am hearing, the hardest part is mostly over. And even though we are all at a point where we feel we literally can't go on a minute longer, how many times have we said that over the last 7 years? We still have a bit more pushing to do. But we can gather our focus and pull strength from the first signs of life that are beginning to emerge as the windows of universal love crack open, replete with a fresh supply of restorative adamantine particles which are blowing into our lives and bodies on the winds of change. This the first time we, a large portion of humanity, are being reborn in this way, fully conscious, and this birth moment is the return to zero-point consciousness, a total reset and recalibration, where the feminine and masculine energies are perfectly in balance to enable us to physically ascend beyond polarity, karmic, consciousness, and in so many ways, things still suck. But the miracle in all of this is that we are being supported through this transition in literally every way possible. There is no bowing out now. Through the last few weeks, we have all been swept out to sea by an aggressive, but purifying cosmic riptide of transformation. We are far from business as usual, and instead of flowing with the universal current, we have been disconnected from life and are bouncing around uncontrollably in the choppy surf of the unknown. Being thrown around like this can be unsettling if we let it, but those who remain calmly centered in faith of where the heart is leading us will notice that though we have been cast out deep into the sea yet again, this time we are not alone here. As the swells of the ocean temporarily lift our sights to new heights, we begin to see not only the horizon of the new world that each of us has courageously dreamed into existence, but we also notice that bobbing all around us, in the same cleansing waters, are the members of our resonant soul family joining us now in the discovery and creation of a new earth. Once we recognize each other, all we have to do is extend a hand to regain our fortitude, resilience and strength in numbers so that together, we can swim to the shore of our brand new lives. A sense of completion fills the air and we are refueled for the remaining miles. Kindred spirits, there is a new order rising and the souls at the forefront of these changes are beginning to come together to create group resonances that will influence Earth and humanity in magnanimous ways. Seven Sisters, not much is crystal clear about our next steps, it's true, but there is one element of this recent Stargate that has already begun to solidify on the other side, and in preparation for 2012 the reconnection to our soul families, our brothers and sisters from home. You may be noticing the emergence of these soul clusters popping up around you now as either romantic, spiritual, kindred partnerships, business purpose-driven connections that are just forming and will fortify in the new year, new opportunities to work with others of shared interest like mind, the final pieces, people, to complete your collective contribution to humanity, etc. In some cases, these connections are forming over the internet, or they may, finally, be in your physical world. Either way, the coming together of these soul groups is a required step to procure the many manifestations of our heartfelt desires for the new earth. We are officially starting to come together in heart resonance, as the new earth guardians for phase 2 of ascension, what the unseens refer to as the physicalization phase. Like everything else, this coming together will likely be an ongoing, unfolding process throughout 2012. So if you're not sensing these connections yet, you have plenty of time, whatever time means now. The sisters say that there will be a blossoming of new relationships and openings to expand beyond what is currently known, as well as a deepening of existing soul relationships. If I am understanding this correctly, the physicalization phase and embodiment phase are simultaneous happenings. The overall period of time allotted for our ascension to become physically realized, a process that has already begun and includes the physical manifestations and applications of our wildest dreams and deepest desires, desires which stem from achieving our highest potential in love. In other words, for those capable of embodying the frequency of universal love, 2012 will be about mastery of the physical domain, of physical matter, including our biology. We will be learning all kinds of new things, including how to co-create with the forces of the universe through the gateway of our magnetic, high, heart. Much more on this to come in the new year. Note, feels important to state here that contrary to what some believe, biological ascension is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing series of purifying waves of source energy that spur a succession of genetic activations and advancements that lead to the embodiment of divine love, a frequency that those at the forefront have been tuning into, aligning with and integrating for many, many years. We are beginning to embody our divinity, yes, and we are learning how to harness direct our physical energy like masters. Sure, but keep in mind that every single cell of our biology, and the DNA contained within those cells, is changing in radical ways to adapt to our new level programming, which is just a long way of saying that time and the space are required for transfiguration in the physical world. Just physics.